When you're live. Hello. I'm here with a frustration video. Just yesterday, I did a nice video for you on rose art that I bought at Ollie's, and I picked several out of the tin, and they go down beautifully. I love them. And I sharpened one or two, and they sharpened fine in my in this particular Exacto that I have in there on the bar where I draw sometimes. And then later, after I started actually doing work, I realized there were quite a few in the tin that won't sharpen. Um, in a minute, I'm going to show you. Um, these pencils are capped on the end, so you can't really show if the. Trying to find one that here's an old rose art from many years ago. If they're done like this, you can see whether the lead is in the center or if it's off center. What happens if it's off center? When you sharpen it, you're going to have big hunks come out. I was trying to see one of the hunks if I had any. Got them everywhere. A whole end of the a piece that looks something like this comes out. And if you manage to get it, get them sharpened, that will come out when you go to the paper. By no means are these the only pencils that I've had that similar trouble with. They're not. And those of you who follow me know I have always not been as excited about Prismacolor as you guys are. I like them. I've done work with them, and they're pretty good. Whoa, I'm in the office right now, and it is a fat mess. Got all the kids painting stuff over there. Got jewelry making stuff over there. Okay, let me tighten that camera up now. And I want to show you uh, the pencil sharpeners I usually use. This is one. This is forgot the brand name. It wasn't very expensive. Hand crank pencil sharpener. Usually this will sharpen just about anything. Um, this is, like I said, the one I have in the kitchen that clamps itself to the table or the bar. I have a gazillion and 14 electric pencil sharpeners. I buy $5 and $6 a piece. They last a while. I've ordered more expensive ones. They don't last any longer. This was one of the more expensive ones. This one makes a long point, and this one just sharpens the very end really sharp. I've tried that. I used to love these Fiskar ones that you turn that instead of the pencil. I just recently ordered um, a Stedler. Ken just entered the room. Those of you who always want to talk to Ken, I'm doing this live, but I'm doing it live on private so I can fix it later. But can you say hello?
Hello.
And this one wouldn't do it. This was one that's supposed to do just about any size. I have a scattering of these generals, and this one, and these little German ones that usually will sharpen anything. I've just had a real time, and I even had my son try to sharpen them, thinking it's something I'm doing. And apparently, these pencils are broken all up and down inside, and what you end up with is this. And I had this problem with a set of Stedlers that I ended up calling the factory, and they sent me another load that were a little better. I've bought pencils before well, right now, let me go on and bring you down and show you. I've been sharpening, and it's not difficult. These over here I haven't gotten to yet. There we go. It's not difficult to see that quite a lot of these were defective. Um, some of these I did get points on. It wasn't done easily. I've got a few over here that I haven't. Oh, this one I still have never managed to get it sharpened. You see how that's what happens. A big hunt comes out. And you talk about frustrated. I was frustrated. And I told my husband, I said, recommended, let me bring it up. I recommended these pencils yesterday because, the ones I pulled out to sharpen yesterday were fine. And I don't know if it's because I got them at Ollie's. Maybe they were from old pencils. There's been a lot of change of ownership with Rose Art. They were owned by another company, and the original company, which owned Crazy Art, bought them back. And I don't know if it's that or if it's just a fluke or if Ollie dropped the box somewhere. These have such a very pretty lay down on the paper and they're fun to work with, but they're not when they're this fragile. So I'm not going to say that I recommend you run out to Ollie's if you have an Ollie's and get these, because I do have certain pencils in my stash that are so enjoyable because you rarely have to fool with sharpening them. They, you have to sharpen them some, but it's not like they break and all that. I wanted to show you some that I got at the grocery store for $2.49. And I bought another package of these today to show you the packaging. But look at the points on those. Sometimes, I broke one or two of these at one time, but not like these others. These are called, let me get the package out. These are $2.49. And I got these at Food City here locally, but they what's the word? They supply grocery stores around the country, and they repackage them with their own sharpener. So I'm going to try that too. But I wanted to try one of these in this really brutal sharpener that I have here that's really hard on a pencil. And it won't stick because the table's probably dirty. There. Nope. Let me try a different sharpener since I can't get that one. It has to be on the table to. Let me try it on this one. See, these are $2.49 pencils, and that lid's not breaking. I do recommend these if you're hunting cheap pencils. They don't break as easily. I've got a whole art cart full of pencils, many of which don't break, and they sharpen easily. Ones particularly I have shown you lately that are difficult to deal with, of course, the Rose Art. Faber-Castell has that Skin Color World of Color set. They're actually Echo Soft. They're a little difficult and they break a little bit. Staedtler has triangular pencils, is what they are, and they have a beautiful color. You put it down, it's prettier than anything, but they break so easily when you sharpen them. Prisma, of course, if you use Prisma, you know that's a challenge. But I've got a lot of pencils, and some are cheaper, some are not. Of course, Polychromos is a harder pencil, and it sharpens pretty well. I also have Prang, Prang, Prang. They sharpen very well. A brand called Heritage. I've got but it seems to me in my head, the softer the lead and the easier the blending and the lay down and everything, the harder to sharpen. That's just has been my. Usually, if nothing else will sharpen something, the little metal German pencils, sharpeners, which I had one in my hand and I lost it. This is the double one, but they make a single one that's really good. These come in a lot of those drawing kits you get on Amazon. Usually, if nothing else will sharpen a pencil, this will. And that, but again, I'm trying to see where the little one went. But all I can say is I'm going to try to go back through my pencils and tell you the ones that will be a challenge to sharpen. If you have one of the more expensive pencil sharpeners made specifically for colored pencils, they're usually anywhere from $25 to $35. Um, this may not even be a problem for you. And if your Prismas are easy to sharpen, a lot of these ones that I consider difficult may not be difficult. But this last batch of Rose Art, so many of these had to have not been had the lead in straight to break this often. And anyway, I could send them a bill for my frustration today. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. I do love the Rose Art laydown, and these may be a fluke. It may be you might get a package. And the old Rose Arts, like this one right here, I don't know how old it is. It was in some stuff I had. It sharpens fine. Let me. Oops. 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 I should have knocked on wood. That one didn't sharpen very well, did it? And what usually happens like this is the piece of lead that breaks off goes in there and you have to take the whole thing apart or you just keep getting this. So, but it doesn't look like the whole thing broke way off up in there like these did. See how way up in there the lead broke? Like I sharpened it and then it came out and then the whole piece of lead came out. It's way up in there. Let me hold it still. Whereas this one, it just broke at the entering point. So I don't know. I don't know. If you have any tips, hints, sharpeners that you'd like to leave in the comments below, it would be much, much appreciated. And I'll talk to you later. Thanks, you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.